President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi stressed that settling ongoing crises is a precondition to create a stable international system, pointing to bold decisions needed to give the Palestinians their rights. The statement was made during his address to the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. The President noted that the General Assembly convenes amidst many world challenges that need joint efforts to confront them. He also urged to lift Sudan from the list of countries supporting terrorism and asserted that it is time to adopt a decisive stance in dealing with the crisis in Libya. On another front, the President called on international funding institutions to play their role in supporting development projects in the region and asserted that Egypt has been working for decades to boost ties with Nile Basin countries. Egypt's participation in the UN General Assembly this year is of special importance in light of its presidency of the African Union. President al-Sisi met on Tuesday with French President Emmanuel Macron on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly session in New York. Spokesperson Bassem Radi said that the president hailed the strong historic Egyptian-French relations. For his part, the French president affirmed that relations are supported by strong cultural ties linking the peoples of the two states. Radi added that the meeting tackled means to boost bilateral relations in all fields and also covered the latest regional and international developments and means of settling the Libyan crisis. President al-Sisi also met his Hungarian counterpart János Áder in New York, and the presidential spokesman also confirmed the head of state praise of the historical ties binding both nations. This is the third summit since 2015. During a meeting, the president stressed keenness to consolidate cooperation and consultations on the international level and called for boosting bilateral relations in various domains during the coming period. For his part, the Hungarian president hailed these strong and distinguished relations and said that Egypt plays an important role in confronting challenges facing the region, especially terrorism. So, with the president's activities on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York, he met Spain's prime minister to discuss bilateral cooperation. A focus was also made on bolstering joint coordination in confronting terrorist and extremist ideologies. The meeting also tackled several regional and international files of common concern. The president also met on Tuesday with Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan to discuss the latest developments of a number of regional and international files with mutual interest. The meeting tackled the situation in Libya, Syria, Yemen and Kashmir and reviewed efforts of combating terrorism. During the meeting, al-Sisi expressed appreciation for the long-standing Egypt-Pakistan relations and stressed that Egypt is looking forward to develop joint cooperation, notably in the economic and trade fields. He pointed to the common stance shared on several issues of mutual concern. For his part, the Pakistani premier praised Egypt's achievements during the past years and asserted the importance of its role in the Arab and Islamic worlds. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi also met with his Lebanese counterpart Michel Aoun, where President al-Sisi expressed his appreciation to the deep bilateral relations. The head of state also wished the Lebanese president and people welfare that achieves their aspiration in development, security and stability. On his part, the Lebanese president appreciated the brotherly special bilateral relations, expressing his country's appreciation to Egypt's pivotal role in supporting peace and stability in Lebanon and the Middle East. It is worth mentioning that at the end of his activities on Tuesday, President al-Sisi won a warm welcome by members of the Egyptian community in New York when he returned to his residential headquarters. For his part, U.S. President Donald Trump made a fresh attack against the global order on Tuesday in his speech before the General Assembly, saying that globalists would not triumph. He called on nations around the globe to embrace nationalism and reject globalism, saying wise leaders put their own people and countries first. He also took the opportunity to denounce Iran's bloodlust and called for other nations to join the United States in pressuring Iran after attacks on Saudi oil facilities, but said there is a path to peace. The American head of state also put China on notice, declaring that the time of trade abuses by Beijing was over and called on the country to protect Hong Kong's democratic way of life, adding that his administration was carefully monitoring the way China handles the crisis there. In response to Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's statements in one of the sessions of the UNGA current meetings regarding the death of Mohamed Morsi, spokesman of the Foreign Ministry Ahmed Hafiz expressed astonishment over Erdogan's claims, which show his hatred for Egypt and its people. Hafiz added that it is ridiculous to hear such claims from Erdogan, who offers support for terrorism and commits violations against his own people. A spokesman of the Foreign Ministry said also that the latest statements by the Turkish president reflect a desperate bid to distract people away from his regime's failures and his party's recent losses. Hafiz added that there are many facts which afford an evidence of the absurdity of Erdogan's claims about justice, while he has more than 75,000 political and military detainees in his prisons. Dozens of deaths have been reported among Turkish prisoners as a result of torture and poor conditions. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli asserted his government's keenness to support the private sector so as to achieve development plans. His remarks came during his visit to the Al Arabi Cooperation's industrial complex in the industrial zone of the Beni Suef Governorate. The Prime Minister also visited a technological zone project in the city, which also aims to expand technological methods in the educational system and boost youth skills. Madbouli also visited a preparatory school for girls where he attended a class utilizing smart board technology. Minister of Defense, First Lieutenant General Mohammad Zaki said on Tuesday that the armed forces will continue to enhance its battle and technical capabilities in accordance with the modern international standards in order to protect the Egyptian national security. The minister's statement came during his meeting with the commanders, officers and soldiers of the naval forces and the Northern Military Zone. The meeting started with a minute of silence for the souls of the army and police martyrs who sacrificed themselves for the sake of the country. Zaki stressed that the men of the armed forces are always on high alert and do their utmost in order to protect the country's borders. Six members of the terrorist Brotherhood outlawed group were killed in an exchange of fire with police forces during a raid on their hideout in the 6th of October city. The Ministry of Interior announced on Tuesday that the terrorists were planning to commit a number of attacks on churches and institutions, as well as targeting a number of police and army officers. The ministry asserted that the terrorist aims were to spread chaos among citizens and jeopardize the country's security.